In this video, I'm going to share 5 toxic Indonesian cultures that I reckon we need to change because they're holding us back to grow as an individual and member of society. For the purpose of this video, I define culture as something that we think, perceive, and do based on my own personal experience and observation with my fellow Indonesians. So please take it with a grain of salt. Without further ado, let's go. Toxic number 1. Parents and authority are always right. Every Indonesian kid knows that it's unthinkable to talk back to your parents. It's common to hear Indonesian parents say something like, "Kamu anak kecil tahu apa? What do you know? You are just a kid." And I kid you not, my mom still does it to me every time, every day, till this day. Our parents also make career choices or at least narrow them down. And that means it's a well-paid and respectable career choices like becoming a YouTuber like me. Dealing with authority like a boss or employer, we have a saying that goes like, Asal, bapak, senang. As long as the boss is happy. That means you are expected to bend over backwards to please the authority. There is no freaking chance that you can tell off an Indonesian president in front of camera, like this man did to an Australian Prime Minister.
Sure, let's just move back from there.
Come on.
If you need to disagree publicly with authority, you can start your opinion by apologizing in advance by saying things like, "Maaf ya Pak, tapi saya lihat." "I'm sorry sir, but the way I see it is whatever your opinion is." So that way, you show your humility and you still defer to his authority. In my humble opinion, respect and humility should go both ways instead of just going from the bottom to the top. Toxic number 2. Treating kids as a retirement plan. A friend of mine with 2 kids told me like years ago that she regrets not having 7 when she was younger. Because if she has 7 kids, by the time she grows old, she can spread the burden around. And just like some Indonesian working abroad, she sends money regularly to her parents every day. Not every day probably, but every week. In other words, she plans to make a sandwich out of her kids. This old school Asian stereotype is unfortunately very much alive in Indonesia. So the parents own the kids and the kids owe their existence to their parents. These toxic cultures deserve its own video, but for the sake of completeness, I'm going to mention this briefly. If you have been to Indonesia, you probably realize that those who are least able to afford kids are the ones who have a lot of kids. There are 2 toxic Indonesian sayings for this. Banyak anak, banyak rejeki. The more kids you have, the more fortune you will make. And tiap anak bawa rejeki masing-masing. Every kid brings their own fortune to this world. Bringing innocent human being to this world when you can't afford them or when you can't provide for them is bad enough. But to expect them to look after when you are old, that's beyond irresponsible. Kids have no say whether they want to be born in this world. I have kids myself, and they owe me nothing. Their presence in our life is a gift in itself, and I can't ask for a better gift, to be honest. Toxic number 3. Only the unfaithful and weak people have a mental health problem. Tell any Indonesians that you feel depressed, have suicidal thoughts. The chance is that they will think you're crazy, have weak character, or lack of faith, kurang iman, or start to avoid you altogether. If they care enough, they will probably encourage you to pray and hope it will go away, instead of suggesting you to see a psychiatrist. In some cases, it has cost innocent life, like when a mom killed her own baby because of the baby blues. Mental health is still a taboo subject in Indonesia, ridden with superstitions. Depressed people often keep it for themselves because they don't want to get blamed or bring shame to their family. Sure, there is still a stigma in Western country too. That's why in Australia we have a Are You OK Day to encourage us to check out our mates and see if we can offer some help if they're struggling. But The difference here is that mental health is accepted as a legitimate medical and psychiatrist problem. It's not something to do with religions or even lack of faith. Just imagine how many loved ones would live a better life or probably could have been alive if we don't attach any stigma to mental health. Toxic number 4, white skin matter. White women go all the way to get a tan skin, like going sunbathing for hours, risking their getting skin cancer, or apply some tan makeup. Ironically, Indonesian with tan skin, as we call it kulit sawo matang, go all the way to get a white skin by applying white skin lotions or staying indoor as much as possible. When it comes to how many pigments you got on your skin, the skin is always better on the other side. But why? Why Indonesian thinks white skin is better or more attractive? Well, I guess because having white skin means that your job doesn't involve toiling under the sun, and you have a lot of time to stay indoor, like these crazy rich Surabayans. How sad is that when you hear someone saying that, wow, your fiancé got a fair skin. That's good for your offspring. We call this memperbaiki keturunan, fixing the offspring's genes. We also love to see a blasteran, a mixed race people gracing our soap operas and advertisements. They are so exhaustingly beautiful and still call themselves Indonesians. The bottom line is, we can't choose the color of our skin, and we better get comfortable in our own skin. Toxic number 5, freebies mentality. Kalau bisa gratis, kenapa harus bayar? Why pay if you can get it for free? It's probably one of our favorite lines. We love pirate musics and free Wi-Fi. Either we get it for free or we want to pay it at the cheapest possible price. And if we do have to pay premium, we will make sure that we get the most out of it. I have seen people like stuffing some food into the containers when they go to all-you-can-eat buffet because they don't want to lose out. They want to get the most value out of it. This freebies mentality is probably why 7-Eleven can't make enough money in Indonesia. People bought like probably $2 or $3 Slurpees, Australian dollars Slurpee, and spend hours in there for the free Wi-Fi. Some of us love free money too. There are 2 unwritten rules when it comes to lending money to your friends or relatives in Indonesia. Rule number 1, never lend the money. Rule number 2, if you want to lend the money, just make sure that that's the sort of money that you are happy to lose or kiss goodbye. Reminding and asking them to pay back your money is sometimes a tricky business. The borrowers could treat you like an annoying pest and act as if you have burdened their life. And sometimes it will end up in violence too, just like what happened to this granny in Makassar. We want our economy works for everyone, right? And we also want to have a great relationship with our friends, families. So I guess the better start is that we need to start paying fair and don't be nggak tahu diri. No sense of shame or guilt. I can go on and on about the toxic cultures of my countries of birth, but I'm not trying to be negative. Well, I guess if you live through that long enough, you will always see negativity in everything. I live in Sydney, but the majority of my friends are still Indonesians. I made this video with the hope that I'll be proven wrong. For non-Indonesian out there, I hope this video doesn't diminish your perception of Indonesia. It's a beautiful country with a beautiful people. Please give it a like and subscribe if you learned something new. And if you have any thought about Indonesian cultures, please leave the comment below and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.